Let's get more analysis now. I'm joined by Scott Lucas. He's a professor of international politics at the University of Birmingham. Professor, thanks so much for your time. Just listening there to Harry, part of that, the summary of that report says, while it doesn't conclude that the president committed a crime, it also doesn't exonerate him. Good news for Trump?
It will be spun as good news by the Trump camp. But it's very important to realize that there's a lot of politics even in the Attorney General's report. First of all, as Harry noted, the report says that it did not find that the Trump campaign conspired with Russia to influence the election. But the way the Attorney General defines that is that conspiracy is that the Trump campaign agreed with Russia to influence the election. And of course, no one has really said the Trump campaign agreed with the Russians, we're going to do this. Rather, the question is whether the Trump campaign knew of the Russian activities and whether, in knowing of those activities, they in fact were accepting that Moscow was trying to tilt the election towards Trump. Secondly, on the obstruction of justice case, even the Attorney General could not find that Robert Mueller had cleared Donald Trump of the claim that he tried to obstruct the investigation into the Russian interference. Of course, the Attorney General then says, well, I'm going to rule that there's nothing here to be seen. But the detail of the report, when it comes out, could quite likely say, well, here is a lot of evidence that indicates that Trump himself may have tried to obstruct justice. So at the end of the day, the Attorney General has given some cover to Donald Trump. But in giving cover to Donald Trump, that only lasts as long as this report is withheld from the American public. And before that, from members of the American Congress.
What do you think the president's reaction is going to be?
No collusion, in all capital letters. He will now say that he is exonerated. He will say there's nothing to see here, nothing to move along. The Republican National Committee will do the same because their effort will be to get Trump reelected in 2020. If this was a Republican-controlled Congress, fully controlled, maybe that's the way this would play out. But because the Democrats control the House of Representatives, they will not let up, that they want to see exactly what Robert Mueller has found. And remember what Harry also said. There are 12 court cases going on against Trump, the Trump Organization, and the Trump Foundation. And there are several Trump aides, such as Roger Stone, who are indicted and still face trial. Evidence could be brought in those cases that continues to raise questions about what exactly the Trump campaign did in 2016.
There are many people who want to see President Donald Trump impeached. The Democrats want to see this full report. They want it released to the public. What's the next step for those people?
I think impeachment was already ruled out by the House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, at this point. And I think it will be further pushed to the side here because even saying that the Attorney General is trying to protect Trump, I think it really took Mueller saying that a crime had been committed, definitively had been committed, for the impeachment charges to be leveled. Instead, I expect the Democrats to use the Mueller findings when they come out in full to say, look, there is evidence that the Trump people did know or were involved in 2016 at some level of what happened here. Do you really want this man to be your president for a second term?